story time about the worst ever date I ever went on, and no, it wasn't with my stalker. It was actually a completely different person. If you can even believe that, like, my luck. Let's set the scene, okay? I'm young, I just got out of a relationship, and I'm trying to mingle, you know, get to know people. I had heard of this guy through, like, friends, and I thought he was cute through Instagram. Little did I know I got hatfished. Like, it was completely not cute when the hat was off. He messages me on Instagram as all amazing first dates happen, and he's like, hey babe, you're so cute, wanna go on a date? You guys know me. What did I do? I folded and I said yes. At this point, I wasn't completely over my ex, so I felt like everything was giving me the ick, and honestly, I was kind of nervous to go on this date because obviously you don't know what a person really looks like until you meet them. My little shallow ass was trying to get a grasp on if I was even gonna think he was cute in person or if I was gonna get the ick, so I literally asked him, how tall are you? And he was like, 6 foot. I'm like, period. So I finally decided to let this guy pick me up because I knew people he knew, and I felt like I was pretty positive that he wouldn't be an absolute weirdo. Boy, was I wrong. He comes to my house and I walk outside, and his car is really freaking nice, especially for our age. Like, I was shocked at how nice the car was. For me, this is a turn on not because I'm like a gold digger, but because I like to see that someone has like a work ethic and that they like take pride in the things that they have, whatever. Hop up in the car ready to be a little passenger princess, and I start talking to him. I'm like, hey. And like, he's nice, right? Like, he's chatting with me. We're having like a nice little cordial conversation, and then I look at the cup holder. There's just like a bottle of Henny on deck, and I'm not new to this. I'm from New York, so I know that like Henny is like a little clothing accessory for men out here, but like, I didn't think that was the vibe. At this point, I still didn't know where we were going on our date. He kind of made it like it was a surprise, so I asked. I'm like, where are we going? Where I'm from, there's this thing called a garbage plate, and a garbage plate is kind of like a mixture of a bunch of foods, and you go to garbage plate places when it's like late at night or when you're drunk, so he decides he wants a garbage plate, and I'm like, okay. Get to the garbage plate place, right? And he gets out of the car, and he comes to open my door. As you could have probably guessed, he was not 6 foot tall. He was shorter than me, and I was kind of like, red flag number 1, you lied about your height. Why? Why did you lie about it? The thing is like, I'm not against a short king. Like, I've been with shorter people and it's never really been a problem, but like, why lie? Why did you lie about it? Walk inside and we order our garbage plates, and then we sit down, and then he's like, oh, I have to run out to my car real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. He's gone outside for like 10 minutes, and I'm just texting my girlfriends like, yeah, this is probably not gonna work. Comes back inside and we eat our garbage plates, and then I'm just kind of like, I need an excuse to leave. So I'm like, oh, my mom wants me to come home. She needs help with something. Like, visibly disappointed and angry by this, and I'm just kind of like, oh my God, this is getting scary. Like, please just take me home. We get in the car and we start driving back to my house, and I happen to look over at the Hennessy bottle. The formerly full Hennessy bottle. And it is now empty. Like, fully empty. And I'm just like, okay, I'm on a date with a fire-breathing dragon. How did he just drink all of that? And also, why is he risking my life? Literally gets so much worse. Go to part 2. Part 2 of the story time of the worst date I've ever been on. So it dawns on me that this man is literally driving with me in his car fully drunk. I do not condone drunk driving at all, and no one should. I think it's the grossest thing you can do. Like, we know me, I'm not the type to keep my mouth shut, so I start talking mad shit to him. Like, I'm not cool with this at all. Literally, like, pull over the car, like, I'm getting an Uber. I don't care where you park, but pull this car over and I'm getting an Uber. He does not let me out of his car. He does not stop the car. He just keeps driving towards my house, and I'm like, yo, this guy is fucking crazy. This time I lived pretty close to the garbage plate place we went to, so we got to my house within like 10 minutes. Thankfully, because I literally was so scared, thought we were going to die. When we get back to my house, I have him get out of the car, and I'm like, you're sobering up in my garage. Like, I do not care. You're not driving drunk and risking other people's life on the road or yours. Like, you're not doing that. I tell you, he starts hysterically crying on the top of his lungs, like fully hyperventilating, like like, get a grip, please. Starts telling me about the girlfriend he recently had that like cheated on him and left him, and how heartbroken he is, and I'm just like, I don't care, actually. I'm to sit down, and I take his keys, and I'm starting to realize like, this man is not going to sober up anytime soon. At this point, I'm ready to start hysterically crying because I'm like, you are not sleeping at my house. Like, it's not happening. So I take his phone and I ask him what his password is, and he tells me it right away, and I'm like, okay, I'm calling your mother. So I start calling Mommy Dearest, and she is not answering the phone. I am blowing her phone up, like, come get your son. I realize this lady is not going to answer her phone. I'm calling him a cab. I'm not paying for it. He had cash in his pocket. He is paying for his own cab. So I leave my garage to go call the cab, and he walks out of my garage. He hears that I'm calling the cab, and he's completely offended. He starts trying to snatch his keys from me, like physically snatch his keys from me. He's like, I'm driving home. Like, I can just drive home. I finally get this guy to calm down. I'm like, you are not driving. Like, it's not gonna be on me if you or someone else dies, because I'm not letting you leave my house drunk. Time goes by of us waiting for the cab, and finally, Mommy Dearest wants to call him back. I tell her the whole situation. I let her know that there's a cab on the way, but he needs his car to get picked up. He says to me that she's on her way with his father, and they'll be there to get the car in 30 minutes. The cab gets there first, obviously, and I walk up to the cab driver, and I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm gonna tip you so well. Like, here's his cash. I literally prop this man up on my shoulder and put him up in the cab, and he tries to kiss me goodbye. I literally look him dead in the face and I just go, no. Mommy finally came to get the car and I never spoke to him again, but I did find out that he got into a drunk driving accident where he totaled that very nice car and went to jail. Luckily, no one was hurt. Let this be a warning tale that if someone says they're 6 foot, they're probably not, and if someone starts drinking on your date, get an Uber.
Get ready with me while I talk about my boyfriend and his girl best friend. More specifically, like what they do together. For some background information, my boyfriend and his girl best friend have been like best friends for like 2 years, I'd say. They're super close, and like I feel like I can't say anything about it because like why should I like stop their like friendship of like 2 years? I obviously trust my boyfriend, so whoever like he wants in his life he can have because I trust him. His parents like have met her, like he brings her over to his house like for dinners and things like that. He snaps her and texts her like every day, and she is one of his like highest streaks, and like so anytime I like bring it up, like I feel awkward about it because like he's like, oh, I don't want to lose the streak. She'll send him like fit pics and like ask for his like opinion on like what she's wearing and like if she should like change or something like that. They also went to the same high school together, so they were like in school like 2 years together. He texts her and says he like misses her and like she does the same, and she like has to like hang out with him like constantly. She'll visit him at work and like bring him like food that like she makes or like buys for him. They hang out like pretty often. Like she's either at his house or he goes to her house, and like both of their parents like each other. Like what? When he goes on vacation, he'll buy her stuff too. Like he'll like bring her back like a t-shirt, like a keychain, like jewelry. Like she seems super sweet though and like super nice, so I'm not too sure what to think about this. Like there's this big fair that like people go to and it's only like a week long, and I asked him if he could go, like if we could go, and he's like, no, I'm busy, like I have work, and like I had work that week too, but he took his girl best friend like last night. They FaceTime so often, and he like plays Fortnite with her and things, and I don't know, like she'll like play with his friends too, like they'll play like squads, trios, whatever, and they'll like FaceTime to go to sleep sometimes. Like I'll ask him to FaceTime and be like, I'm FaceTiming already. If she's hungry, he'll like offer to like DoorDash her food and like bring her food. Like I don't know if I should be supportive that he has like other friends even if it's a girl, or if I should like look more into this. Like I just like don't want to seem like controlling or anything. They'll send each other like cute little TikToks and like they'll send it like back and forth to each other. He's taking her to his like little niece's birthday party today. I have to go now though, or I'm gonna be late to my boyfriend's niece's birthday party because I'm going as his girl best friend. If my boyfriend had a girl best friend, I'd actually go feral. So thank God I'm his girl best friend.
My mom pulled up to a party I was at to fight a bunch of teenagers. So I was friends with this girl. She started stealing random stuff from me. That's a whole story time of its own for another time. We eventually had a falling out. This girl was friends with this other girl. Kind of known for being a drama starter and getting into a bunch of fights. Call me a scaredy cat. I have never been a fighter. That one time when my ex tried to box me, story time in and of itself. We're nearing the end of school. We're walking with this one girl. She's telling me about this party that she's throwing tonight. In the middle of talking about this little party, the girl's friend that was known for starting fights comes up to me. I heard you were talking crap about me. She's yelling in my face. It was really random. People are starting to form like a circle around us. This girl was like towering over me. She was way bigger than me. I look at my friend that just invited me to a party. She's watching this happen, and I was like, you're not gonna help me? Drama starter, let's call her Soph. Soph goes, I'll be seeing you. Let's go. That's where I'll knock your teeth out. They're expensive. Ended up just walking away. I'm texting my mom, a friend that invited me to the party. Let's call her Regina. Her house was right down the street from mine. So I'm there and I'm anxious, and so I'm texting my mom the whole time. I was just happy to be there, bro. I sat in the corner quietly the whole time, but like, you bet your bottom dollar I was posting on Snapchat that I was at a party. Guess who walks in? So I just text my mom, all her friends are here. My phone is on like 10%, and I was like, oh my gosh, my mom will kill me if my phone dies. I go inside, I plug my phone in, and I go back outside, and I'm starting to get comfortable. Like, everything's really going okay. I ran out of time before editing, but part 2 is already posted. So like I said, everything was honestly going so good. My phone's inside charging. I honestly forget about it for probably an hour. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there, I'm making friends. A teenager's worst nightmare comes true. Soph looks at me and goes, why is your mom here? And I laugh. No, seriously, your mom's in my kitchen. What? So I was like, okay. Like, mom, like, let's go outside. She's like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? She's hugging me. This woman has her hair up, never wears her hair up. And baggy clothes with her hair up, no jewelry. And I still feel so bad. This poor lady. I thought it was a setup. I thought you were like getting jumped. I thought you were laid in a ditch somewhere. Like, I thought they got you. She goes, I came ready to help you. Throw down mode with a bunch of 16-year-olds. And I was like, why the hell would you think? You think I wouldn't have let you know? She goes, I have called you like 30 times. I forgot my phone was inside charging. And so I hadn't texted my mom back for a very long time. And the last thing I told her is that the girls got there and then I just stopped answering. This poor woman was fully convinced. Honestly, like, valid thought. It scared her so bad. She walked me into school the following Monday, talked to the principal. At the time I was so embarrassed, but now I would do this for my daughter too. Like, one of the like hall monitor people, the yard duty people, watched this girl scream in my face, watched people circle around us, and did absolutely nothing to stop it. As embarrassed and mad as I was at the time that my mom like showed up like that and went to my school, what a ride or die. I would do the exact same thing for my daughter in the future. I was definitely ready to throw down with some 16-year-olds. Ain't go to many parties after that. Love you.
I would do anything for attention in high school. I would fake at parties and cool things on Snapchat. Probably fooled no one. The one time I actually did something cool on my family vacation, which no one knows about this, by the way. Sorry, Mom. I didn't even tell anyone. Now that I'm 26, statute of limitations, I can't get grounded. I'm gonna tell the story on TikTok. That day I had met some boys on the beach. They tell me, hey, we're gonna go walk later tonight on the beach. You should come. I knew that my parents would never allow me to walk with strangers on the beach at night, especially since I wasn't even 16 yet. But sneaky me said yes, because I knew my parents were going out to eat that night and that they would be gone for a while. Boys are like, okay, we'll wave to you from the beach when we're down here. We're gonna meet up at like 9 o'clock. And I'm like, yeah, sure, bet. Fast forward, family leaves to go to dinner and it's just me and my 2 younger siblings. At this point, I'm just like getting ready. I want to look cute. I'm like, maybe I'll get a boyfriend, maybe I'll get kissed. So never hung out with people outside of school just because of where I lived. So this was very exciting for me to hang out with people in a different setting that were around my age. The boys come, I see them from the balcony and they wave to me to come down. Tell my little sister, hey, you're in charge, watch your brother, don't tell mom or else. Honestly, she probably doesn't even remember this. I go down to the beach and meet up with these guys. I have a friend with them that's around their age, so I'm not too worried. And we just start walking. We're walking on the beach, talking about like what classes we're taking next year and our school year was, kind of relating on the fact that we all went to high school and that's really all we knew about each other. It's pretty dark outside. People on the beach, but not that many. About 10 to 12 hotels down from mine. Getting close to the Hangout Club, and if you know what the Hangout Club is, it's like a restaurant, beach club thing. And I couldn't remember if this is where my parents were going for dinner or if they were going somewhere else. I couldn't remember. I was like starting to sweat a little. I was like, oh no, I need to go home. Like, let me think of a way out of this. Before I could even say anything, the guys say, oh hey, we have our fakes if you want to go to the Hangout Club and get drinks. What? Little 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old me was like, I pretended to get a call from my little sister saying that they need me back. My little sister didn't even have a phone at this point. They have like the calculator up and faking a phone call. Like, okay, cool. Well, if you want to come meet up with us later, you know where we'll be. And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I start walking back, and once they're out of sight, I sprint back to the hotel because I am just so stressed out. I sprint up to the hotel room. I change clothes, out with my brother and sister, so that way they aren't like Sydney's not playing with us. My family gets home and everything is fine, and we all go to bed, and no one ever finds out. I was so stressed about getting in trouble that I didn't even tell a single soul, even though it was a real story I did.
Hey guys, story time on how I found out today that I can't trust anyone and that everyone's fake. Basically, this morning I was talking to one of my friends who I actually trusted, and I was just like, hey, I'm so glad all the drama's over. I want to hang out with you, all these things. And then she was like, yeah, of course, like, I'm glad the drama's over. I don't want any drama. I just want to be cool with everyone. And I was like, yeah, me too. And then I made the mistake of bringing up someone's name because they were part of the drama that we were in. And I was just like, I saw that you were hanging out with them. I just wanted to let you know that, like, I wasn't lying or anything. I don't want you to think that, like, I was lying to you, and I just don't want any drama. And I guess she took a photo of it on a different phone and sent it to the girl and was like, she's shit talking you and all these things. But while that was happening, she was replying to me like, yeah, like, I totally understand. I'm glad the drama's over. Like, I'm glad you cleared things up. and all this stuff. Like, we were fine. I was never shit talking anyone. I never called anyone a bitch. I never did anything. I was just like, I was never lying. I just don't want any drama. Like, I wasn't trying to create drama. I'm glad everything's good now. And then I get a phone call from a random number, and I don't know why I had this like instinct to answer it. I thought it was like a spam, and I was gonna like be stupid and use like a funny voice with it, but it ended up being the girl's sister, and she was screaming at me and was like, I'm pressing charges and calling me names, and this is a grown adult with kids. And I start laughing a little bit. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And then the girl who was in the drama, not the one that I was texting, but the one that I said their name, was in the background like, shut the F up, Kaylee, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, what's going on? So I hang up and block the number, but before I block it, they send me a text, and it's like, I'm gonna tell your mom that you're, like, having sex and you're pregnant and all these things. And I was just like, what the f? Like, if they were to tell mom, that mom would have been like, this is so fucking embarrassing. That's just embarrassing. I don't know what they're on, but anyway, I replied and I was like, that's ironic because the girls literally snuck out at 3 a.m. to suck this guy's dick. That was my bad. Shouldn't have done it, but I was really, really upset in the moment. I started this big spiral where my stepmom called the girl's mom because we were all really, really close like before, and she's just like, please stop contacting Kaylee. Like, you guys went out of your way to contact her after she blocked all of you guys, because I didn't have that number saved to my phone. And the girl was just like, the mom was like going off on my stepmom, and they were kind of heated, and they were just like, whatever. So I'm sobbing the whole time, and my mom has to leave work for it, all this stuff. My boyfriend comes over, and I'm like having this mental breakdown because like I've been drama free for so long, and like I just can't handle it. Oops, I don't know if that cut off. Basically, more shit just continues to happen. People are still mad and stuff, and I was just like, I'm clearing up my name. Like, I never did anything wrong. I never shit talked to anyone. I was just talking with my friend. Which my parents ended up believing me. Come back for part 2. Part 2 on how I learned I cannot trust anyone, and I just had one of the worst days of my life. Go watch part 1 if you haven't yet. So basically, my parents didn't like believe anything that like the other people were saying, and they were like there for me, and they're like, this is fucking insane. Like, how is a grown adult talking to you like that? How are they gonna press charges? Like, this is just embarrassing and weird. And all the time they're like, no girl, like, I'm with you, like, don't worry about it, because they know how bad my mental health is. Which honestly was my bad for even trusting this girl. We've been friends for years, but I should have known better. Another call comes back later from the mom of the girl and was like, I'm sorry for how I was acting on the phone, like, it was wrong, it was rude, and my stepmom apologized as well, like, for being rude and all these things. And I still never got my apology. Like, if you guys heard this phone call that I got, you would have been so mad. It was a grown adult just like screaming at me like and so early in the morning, and just like calling me names and all these things when I didn't do anything. Didn't shit talk anyone. I was just saying like, hey, I never lied. I just want you to know that like I'm glad the drama's over, because I don't want people to think that I was just like lying the whole time. So I was just like, I never lied. I know you hang out with her. Like, I just want you to know that, like, the drama's over. Like, I'm glad it's all over. And the girl that I was texting is obviously lying to me still. She's like, well, I told her you weren't shit talking, and I told her not to say anything because it'll start drama, but she was like, what's she gonna do to you? Which I know is probably not true. And she had someone else take a photo of her phone and of my snaps that I was sending her, and like as if that got me in trouble, because I was never in trouble with my parents because I didn't do anything wrong. The only way I would have been in trouble with my parents is if I was like shit talking someone, because they know like we made a pact not to do that with this girl because of all the drama in the past. Then my mom got a text from the girl's mom, and she started like getting upset because she's just like, this drama is so crazy, like I don't want anything to do with this girl. And then the mom's like, hey, I want Kay and the girl to meet up with the parents and talk and become friends again. We tried that twice in the past, and it got us nowhere and started so much drama and literally ruined my mental health like horribly. You guys have no idea what I've been going through and how fucked up the situation is, where I've been framed for so many things and I can't reach out or prove myself right because everything will be screenshotted and twisted. And I kept talking to the girl like I was texting, and I was like, oh, you're going on a cruise? And she's like, yeah, you should come with me. Like, all these things, acting like we were friends. I didn't even have any idea this whole time that she was doing that to me. Which still, I never like cussed her out or confronted her or anything. I was just like, why would you do that? I'm not mad. Just don't do that. That's just fucked up. And tell her that I wasn't shit talking her. And she was like, I will tell her. She just took it the wrong way. I don't know why she's doing this. I was just like, I didn't even like agree with her. I was just like, please just stop. Because obviously, everyone's lying. Everyone's twisting things. So I was literally crying for hours. A little traumatized, but it's okay. And I hung out with my boyfriend, and he's like the biggest sweetheart ever. It made me feel a lot better. And my parents hung out with me the whole day, so it was good.
I saw this article today of like girls telling their private schoolgirl stories, and I was like, this was made for me. Like, I need to do this. I have so many bad stories. Starting off with an absolute banger, I got suspended multiple times for having two-toned hair. So like, you weren't allowed to have like brown and blonde in your hair, it had to be one colour. One time also I got eyelash extensions, which was not allowed. So my coordinator literally made me sit in her office and pick them out of my eyes, like, and this was like full-on mega volume ones, and I was like, this one time in year 7, I'm still traumatized from this moment. My PE teacher, I had chewing gum, and my PE teacher caught me, and she made me put it in my pocket of my pants and like smack my pants and be like, I'm a very bad girl. So it like stuck in my pants, and like, don't come at me like, oh my God, why would you do that? I was in year 7. I was very scared for my life. Yeah. And if we wore PE uniform and it wasn't like a PE wearing day, we would get after school detentions and have to write out like the first 10 pages of our school planner. Like, not do homework or something like productive, just like rewrite the planner. We also weren't allowed to wear like Nike socks or like Adidas socks or anything. So like, if we did that, we'd get an after school. There was also teachers like waiting at the gate to see if you're wearing your blazer when you're leaving school, because you weren't allowed to wear your jumper if you didn't have your blazer on. Like, I still don't understand that rule, or any of the rules to be honest, but whatever. And if your dress wasn't knee length, as I was saying, yeah, if your dress wasn't knee length, see you later, seriously. Okay, and we're done.
Two of the story time of the time I convinced my mom that I was seeing and hearing dead people. My boobs look so weird in this like bra, sports bra thing, sorry. Anyway, so at that point I'm like, OMG, it's gonna take so much convincing to like convince her that I'm not just embarrassed now. Like if I tell her I was joking, she's not gonna believe me. Also, I found it hilarious that like I knew she wasn't gonna believe me, so I was like, should I just play into it, Jessica? Like this is so funny. My mom's friend at the time was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell her that you came over and like told me the same thing that she told me and like see what she does. Like, but I'm gonna make sure she knows that you're meaning like you see dead people, not that you're like having mental health issues. By the way, if you're schizophrenic or have psychosis, I'm not judging you, babe. There's so many people in my family who have that. Like, I totally get it. That at the time, I was 11 years old and I thought it was so funny to fuck with my mom. My mom's friend tells her that I basically told her the exact same thing that I told my mother, and my mom is like, scared at that point. Now my mom thinks that I see dead people and that I'm like kind of losing it, or maybe that I'm a psychic and that there's dead people in our house. I'm just eating it up because I'm a Gemini and I love to stir the pot. Like we've gone over this. I love to fuck with people. Basically, like after I think it was like a week and a half, I was like, Mom, did you know that everything I said about seeing people was a lie and I was fucking with you the whole time? Obviously, I didn't say I was fucking with her because if I said the word fuck in front of my mother at the time, I would have probably gotten beat up. I actually beat up. My mom would just curse me out because she's like an older Italian lady, so you already know how that goes. Anyways, my mom's friend ended up backing me up and being like, yeah, she was fucking with you the whole time. So my mom just was like, cool, you're great. It was actually the same lady to first ever tell me that I was good at makeup, so my entire career is thanks to her. Thanks, Jessica. Love you guys. Bye.